What's up guys, leftstickrightstick here again with another Dreams video. We are following Media Molecule's Global Game Jam. We're looking at the levels that they showcased in that stream. And I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to click that like button if you enjoyed all the levels and this video. And don't forget to subscribe to leftstickrightstick for more upcoming Dreams videos. We're gonna wait until the beta comes out. We've got some more videos in the meantime. But back to Global Game Jam. So basically, Global Game Jam, they had a theme that they're creating these levels for. It's a transmissions theme, and they had like 48 hours to create a level out of it. So first up, we have Radio Signals by Claire and Erica, and it's a very compact level. There's you're just pretty much the camera's on a radio, and you're sort of tweaking it, turning the dials and whatnot to sort of get the right signal through. And it's got a nice artistic tree background, and basically this actually showcased quite well how the interactivity of the audio throughout the in Dreams, right? It's not like a static feature anymore. You can actually make adjustments as you are playing it, as it were. And what was really annoying is that they kept near the end of this level they were teasing the beta release date, which was quite cruel of them, because they never announced it. It was just teasing that that's what was being mentioned in the radio. But that's so annoying. But then at the end they showed what the like button will be at the end. LBP, we had hearts. This is just a like button at the moment, which is kind of nice to just see extra little bits here and there. And then next we have Scrabbled. It's by Amy and Alex. It's a disco word puzzle-ish like level, Scrabble like thing. That's their own explanation and description of the level was just equally as confusing. But this is quite a nice little level that's made by two people who actually hadn't used Dreams before. This is like the first time actually creating in Dreams. So I feel like this is it's not bad. You've got like your bipeds, which are very basic there, and then they've implemented, I guess, the transmission aspect is sort of the words that we are using. I don't really know how it relates to transmission. It's quite obvious what the previous level related to transmission was. This one I don't really quite get it, but yeah, it's probably just the words. Or maybe like you're transmitting the letters that you're putting down code to be correct, because you have to see there's a word flashing up there on those panels. You have to put the right letters in. So I guess that's sort of it. Although clearly there seems to be trouble with actually moving stuff around, and I feel like it sort of ruined a bit of the level where the imp can sort of also freely move around the tiles as well as the people, because then it just seems like the people, or the bipeds as Media Molecule like to keep calling them, seems to be quite pointless. Although that said, they provide great dancers as you see at the end of this level, so that's pretty cool. It's really nice, I think. And they also, there's collaboration involved as well, because they sort of took some pieces that was made by other people, and they sort of fixed it up, as it were, to actually create this level, which is quite inspiring, which is good. And it's good to know that the collaboration really does really work. And then next up, we sort of have the Fly, My Pigeon, Fly by Catherine and Charlotte. Again, these people have not, they haven't used Dreams properly before, and it's their first time, and apparently they have no animation skills, and they're just not very arty in general, but they've managed to create something really, really nice. I mean, look at this. It's got a nice little menu screen. They've actually split their level up in sections. There's a menu, there's a little cutscene, and then for someone who's not familiar with animation, you kind of, this is pretty good, to be honest. I have to think, the person as well as the massive pigeon. But then, this is sort of a procedural sort of level. It's sort of like a cross between Flappy Birds and Temple Run sort of thing. And there's lots of little details in this level, which is actually quite nice as well. Sort of, like there's broken fences here and there, and it's all randomly generated from like the assets. They've got like tree assets, telephone lines, bins, and I think it's just randomly generated each panel that you fly across. So that's actually quite neat. And the whole point of this transmission, I think, was because the bird is taking a message somewhere. You're trying to avoid all these dangers to take a message somewhere. But I think it looks very nice, except for this gap in between the panels, which is a bit distracting, I think. But apart from that, this is actually a very, very nice level, especially from two people who had not played Dreams before. Although that said, they had Little Big Planet experience, and maybe that would have helped them out a lot. But yeah, all the small details, and apparently like the different types of bins as well, which is just quite cool in this level. Next up, we have Handyland by John B, Castro, and Ed. And this is probably the best level of the lot, which is no surprise, to be honest, because John B has had loads of experience, creating in Dreams. He's always the one he's showing off Dreams. All the videos is pretty much he's there showing it off. So he should have the most experience, and it's no surprise that his level that he made during Game Jam is the one that seems the most polished. And it seems to be most fun. I quite like this concept, The whole concept is you are just running around, slapping, high-fiving everyone. I guess that's the transmission aspect, right? You're transmitting, I don't know, by high-fiving, who knows. But I really like the art style of this one. This level is really cutesy and sort of, it just feels very different from everything we've seen in Dreams before as well. Sort of in the official, official full streams. And they actually used, they even showed off, the level actually showed off different filters where certain sections, he completely changed the filter look. So this is meant to happen. It's not something to do with the video. Nothing wrong with the video. This is actually meant to happen, and it's just he just showcase more stuff happening, I guess, in the level. And it's all just basically we're running along on one massive circle, I guess, and these houses and buildings are just pinned onto that rotating circle, and we're just running along it. That's apparently how they got this curve along this this curve, and just slapping it. And basically all these people, I say people, these are just shapes with hands tied to stuck to them. But yeah, they're all just made very simply. Just stuck a hand on the end and then just add some googly eyes. But what's really cool as well was the speech bubbles, the boom, the yas, and the good are all randomly generated. So when you slap it, it just chooses one randomly, which is pretty cool. And then apparently all the effects that you saw earlier as well was all done by sliders, and even like they're very simple and very easy to make all these effects here. Just using simple slider value effects that are already pre-built into the menu to generate the animational look of this level. So it's really cool. Next up, we have Tom Dalloway's Gene Journey, which is essentially just about fertilizing an egg. Sperm is fertilizing egg. No, you just can't walk around that. That is exactly what it is, which is... I just don't get why that was a theme that was chosen, I guess, but that's transmission, right? Sperm has been transmitted to the egg. But what's actually really cool about this level is actually it shows, the educational aspects that genes can have. Because, this is actually telling you, it's very educational, right? It's even got like this whole DNA sequencing thing that's going on as well, which is really, really cool. So this is already highlighting how dreams can be used for educational purposes, and school made me to like teach, I don't know, reproduction and DNA. I don't know, but this is an example of how it could be done. Although maybe you might want to be more thorough, and they came up with mutants, which is really creepy, and then a human, which actually, to be honest, looked just as creepy as the mutant. But this also actually showcased the branching nature of Dreams levels. So you can have the whole branch if you do something well, or you go off to one where the mutant is. Or if you do things properly, you go after humans. So that's actually quite good that they actually showed off properly the whole branching nature of if you do something, or you can actually just branch off to a whole new storyline. And then lastly, we have The Nebula by Dan and Ben Taylor, or Dan Kidney and Ben Taylor. And it's actually a multiplayer level, so people who are looking for multiplayer, this is a multiplayer level, though it is local multiplayer, and it's apparently very complex in logic. And to be fair, it seemed like quite a big task for something to be done in 2 days, and so there's only 2 people who made this level, and it's quite complex logic wise. And this is just I think one of them, or they've just played 1 week of Dreams. This is what they made, and in 40 hours is pretty impressive. It's 4-player level, and everything else we've seen before is actually quite basic, but this one's quite in-depth and complex. You have to like sort of collect spaceships, I don't know, so hack into spaceships and just fire and defeat off enemies. It's not quite complete, to be honest, and it's not fully polished, but I mean that's probably because they had 48 hours rather, and they had quite a lot of complex logic to work out, so it may not work out smoothly, but this is a really neat concept, and I quite like the art style of it. Generally, it's just very nice, right? I mean, this is actually quite impressive. Even I find it quite impressive to be a 48-hour creation, a whole 4-player level like this. I mean, to actually have like randomly generate these ships to be hacked into, and then you've got the hacking mechanism. Then you've got the whole four-player element. I guess I didn't quite also manage to add in, you know, the death thing, because I think there wasn't actually a proper end to this level. You just, whoever is, you know, still has the most ships hacked is the winner, as it were. They didn't actually manage to get a whole full level actually complete. This is a really cool level. So those were the levels shown off at the Media Molecule Games Game Jam, Global Game Jam. So I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you thought about those levels in comments below, and don't forget to subscribe to Left Stick for more Dreams videos. Click that like button, guys.